Stephanie. I wanted to do this video because for the past several years I have been having a lot of struggles with my health, and I wanted to tell my story so it might help others. I just wanted to kind of break down what happened first for you and then go into present day with what my daily struggle is. So in 2017, I had strep throat. I went to the doctor. They had prescribed me an antibiotic that wasn't strong enough to take it away. At first, I was feeling okay, but then I started to get really tired. I was getting dizzy while I was driving, had to pull over a lot, just really hard time getting out of bed in the mornings, stuff like that. So then I went to the hospital. They had told me that most everything was normal, just a few things out of whack with my labs, so they sent me home. Fast forward to a couple weeks later, it was probably 2 weeks later. I was sleeping all the time. I was, in college to go to school for surgical technology, so I was having a really hard time going to classes, driving because I was still getting dizzy, weak. Any little activity that I did, I would need to rest after that activity, things like showers, that sort of thing. So I ended up going back to the hospital. My heart was racing all the time. So I went back to the hospital. They did some tests and they admitted me to the hospital because my heart rate was very high, just at resting. So they were very concerned. So once they admitted me, they had done some other tests as well because my left side was hurting, up towards the top and stuff. So they had done some tests and saw that my spleen was enlarged as well. So they also did some tests for my heart and found out that I had an infection in my heart. So it was basically the only thing that they could notice was that I had the strep throat a couple weeks before, and now I had an infection in my heart. So my spleen was enlarged as well, so they would have to do surgery to remove that, and then they would have to do heart surgery to replace my aortic heart valve. So at that point, it was very scary, especially not knowing, what was going to happen after that. They told me I would lead, a pretty normal life. I ended up getting a mechanical heart valve. It was best of what the doctor told me for my body and how young I was, because it could potentially last me my whole life. So I was pretty happy with that choice because I trusted the doctor. So that's what we went with. I had my spleen removed at the end of September 2017, and then October 9th of 2017, which was a week after my spleen being removed, I had my aortic heart valve replaced. It seemed to be going okay. I recovered very well. Once they told me I could go back to a normal lifestyle, that's when everything started to not go so well for me. They gave me kind of, walk for, this long and then increase it little by time, and then little by intensity. So just as I started to increase my walking by time, little by little, after getting home from the hospital, I noticed that I started to get dizzy again, and that started to concern me. And then once I was cleared to drive, I noticed I started to go short distances at first so that I wasn't going, any big, so that I wasn't too far from home. And then I noticed that I was still getting dizzy. Then it wasn't a lot, but it was just randomly too while I was driving, and that started to concern me too. So I spoke with my doctors about it. They looked into it, and at that point they did not find anything that would cause that. So we went from there to look into other things that could be causing it. And they ran all kinds of tests. And at that point, they had no answers. They had sent me to a neurologist to see what was going on. And at that point, the neurologist had figured out that I did have a condition called idiopathic intracranial hypertension, which basically just the fluid within my head and my spine raise for no reason, which causes headaches and stuff like that. It does not cause the symptoms that I was having, though. So I did get on medicine for the headaches, and that helped tremendously with that. And as of then, there was nothing else that could be causing my dizziness. So I was referred to another cardiologist who was with UC, and they did some tests and couldn't find anything. So then, I'm sorry, actually, UC did find that I did have a small mass that was on the heart valve, but it wasn't an infection or anything that was causing any problems. So they're basically just monitoring that. So I was still left without answers. So then I was referred to a neurologist with the Cleveland Clinic, or not a neurologist, I'm sorry, a cardiologist with the Cleveland Clinic. And they did some tests and looked into it. And I did very poorly on, I thought I could not exercise long with the exercise test that they gave me. But in my endurance there was not very great, I did not think, but they said that there was no issues. So not that was causing what was happening with me. So, they said it could be neurologic. So, I am still left without answers. So that is where I'm going to stop today. I will kind of break down my recovery a little bit more next time I come, and we will see where it goes from there. And then I'll get into some of my daily struggles, some of my symptoms a little bit more. Yes, I know I said dizziness, but I do have a little bit more symptoms than that. Just kind of see how this goes. I really hope that with this, like I said, that I could help others who might be going through the same thing. I still hope for answers for what's going on with me. I know that it may still be a long journey to that, but I do hope that we can find out something. Thank you so much for listening to my story, and I hope that you come back for more. Thank you. Have a blessed day.